Good evening, everyone. Great to see my two lovely young ladies with us. My name is Dr. Shelley Cameron, and I'm the founder of the Global Coaching Corner and author of Success Strategies. My passion is on everything success, personal and professional, and spiritual growth. I wanted to share today with you, with my guests, on success. Success, as I've always said, is defined by you. No one else can be successful. It's only the way you define success that will make you successful. So today, our focus is going to be on pageant contestants. My guests are Delise Lockhart, who wears this title of Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, second runner-up. And my other guest is Kimberly Campbell, Miss England. And I have Miss Africa USA, Miss Naomi Rodriguez, who couldn't be with us, but she brought some talent to this year's Ignite Caribbean's 30 Under 30 initiative in Washington, D.C. at the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, earlier this year. So we want to hear from all these contestants about what is happening as far as success is concerned. Because success, of course, and beauty pageants are linked to goal achievements, whether it's in a career, family path, or anything that you put your mind to do. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to Delise and Kimberly, and they will share their ideas on success strategies with us. We'll also engage in discussion as well as how to overcome challenges. So welcome, ladies. Pleasure to have you both here. And I wanted to go ahead and just have you, I won't introduce you, but as our audience listen in, we will find out a lot more about you. So I wanted to go ahead and start with a couple of questions that we have. And as we progress, our audience will find out a lot much more about you both. Thank you. So my first question is, and it is very simple. My first question here asks you about, can you share a moment from the pageant experience where you faced a significant challenge or a setback? How did you overcome it? And what did you learn from it? Anyone can start. All right, I'll ask, I see Dalise getting ready. Go ahead, Dalise.
Okay, so first off, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this moment. So I was the only contestant from the US participating in Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago. So I faced several challenges. One would definitely have to be being personable and having intimate conversations. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to be a part of the pageant, was just to be more outgoing and have conversations with others. So a little background about me. I grew up in a single mom household, so it was just my mom and I majority of the time. And so the conversations that I had would mostly just be with my mom and not really with others. So a challenge would definitely would be just those conversations and getting out of my shell and that comfort zone that I'm always in. So I took that opportunity as being a delegate. I represented Sangre Grande as part of a growing process. So I networked, I spoke to several of the community members in Trinidad, and I enjoyed the experience overall.
Perfect. So you did go through some challenges and all of it. Being with your mom as a single, you're the only one, right?
Yes, on my mom's.
So that was a challenge for you to get out there, to be on stage and to be in that limelight that you're not really accustomed to. So that grew you.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, Kimberly, can you share with us?
Sure. Just wanted to thank you so much for having me.
welcome.
I'm Kimberly Campbell, Ms. New England Petite, and you might hear a little accent. I was born and raised in Jamaica, and I came to the United States at the age of 16, and now I'm here living in Boston, Massachusetts, where I currently serve as a school counselor for kids from K-1 all the way through high school. So the question you posed to me was really important to me, and it struck a few nerves in me. And I remember just in August when I was going to my national pageant. So I flew on JetBlue, but my luggage went on American Airlines. So that was a huge setback with me going to a national pageant and just worrying about how will I get my luggage the next day
Wow.
going. And the beauty about that is the preparation I had before, because I know if I really worried too much about how would I get my luggage to compete, then I will lose track of what I was going then. It was just to compete, meet friends, and bring that crown home. So through like prayer and faith, and one thing I did like really differently, I had all my competition wardrobe with me in my carry-on. So everything
Ah,
else, yeah. So
preparation.
yeah, so everything else that I actually needed, but it wasn't that important, went along and it already landed and I was already here in Massachusetts. I was like scrambling and around. Like I think I went through like three airlines trying to see how I could get there. And one thing that really set me back because I wanted to bring my daughter with me because she's a big part of who I am and she's the
Yeah.
main reason why I'm going into pageants. So I ended up having to leave her because if I wanted to go there and be there in time, I would have to go by myself and she would have to fly after. But she ended up didn't coming, but I ended up getting there on the day off and
Yeah.
just going to bed, sleeping, just thinking about my mantra, like I am your queen, I'm here, and
Yeah.
is normally for a major comeback. So I slept, woke up the next morning, got a car, went to the airport, got my luggage, came back to the hotel, and that was it, ready to go for the week. And I knew that something was a really huge obstacle. And up to this day, I'm like really surprised about how I handled it. I was really calm. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't crying. I was like, Kim, you have it, you have the main outfits in your luggage with you. And then I started like searching for like stores around the area just in case I needed
Okay.
anything on hand. And the beauty about what the system I'm in, Petite USA, I had some amazing sisters too that came along and they, hey, do you want some money? Do you want something to eat? So that's one thing about pageantry is just a sisterhood and everyone just coming together in the end to just help.
Okay, that's perfect. Great to hear that. And I'm thinking about live and direct in a situation like that. And of course, your clothes, right, Dalise, your clothes, that's what you're going to wear for the
Yeah.
competition. So that must have really put you in a frazzling state, if they want to use that word. But what I like about what you said further is that you prepared yourself. Well, he didn't say it, but they alluded to it. You prepared yourself. So some of the clothes was put in the carry-on that you would have, and then you tried to center yourself, then got up early and went back to the airport to get your stuff. So that is just something that can show that whenever we're going through challenges, whether it is through a contest or anything else, any goals that we're going after, there will always be some surprises around. And we just have to be prepared for it. That's what I actually heard you saying. And that community of persons together that work with you, who you refer to them as your sisterhood, we're willing to help. And that's really amazing. So I'll go to my second question. And the second question for both of you is, what strategies did you use to maintain your confidence and focus throughout the competition, especially when you're faced with stiff competition and the pressure? And I knew that was the case. You want to go ahead, Kimberly, and then we'll go back to Dalise?
Sure. So I want to pick apart your question just a little bit. I know you mentioned
That's fine.
stiff competition. So for me, like one thing that I do like so separately so I can stay grounded in who I am as a person and just to showcase myself to the judges to let them know what I've been doing, why am I here, and what I plan to do is I really never look at the competition. I know everyone that's going, they're already great. Like we already know we're already geared and we're just here to just hope the judges will see which one of us is prepared for the job. So
Yeah.
I really tell myself like my biggest competition is myself, and it's just to do greater than what I did last year because I've been in pageantry for 10 years. So each year I try to do more than what I did the last year. So for me, my biggest competition is myself. And for me, like failure is a learning stone for me. So I learn more in failure than in winning. So when I went there, I was like really focused and just having fun. being who I am and just enjoying every part of the competition. So for me, I really ensure that I had strong coaches on the end, because what I found for myself is after each competition, like after winning, I'm like, what is there next? So for me, I know I needed more and there was something else deeper within me. So I went ahead and got coaches, which is the winner pageant community, and they really dug deep into who I am and who I am as a person, and starting my nonprofit, which is Dare to Be Different, where I work with children and teens to build on their self-confidence and improve on their mental health. So having coaches behind me, a strong team, and prayer. That's one thing that was huge for me. Like, Kim, it doesn't matter what might happen. You're just going to go there, have fun. You've been preparing for this for so long. And it's just really just have fun. And for me, for every competition that I go, I never leave without at least having the contact information for one queen. So for me, it's like information
One
gathering.
queen. I like that.
So for me, it's like more information gathering, because I was like
Yeah.
so excited. And even though with that setback with my luggage, going there before me in another state and I'm here, I'm like, wow, I'm still going. I'm like so excited to meet everyone. So excited to just wear my amazing outfits, because after being bird, I didn't get a chance to really dress up. So for me, like, this is my self-care. Like, I'm in a pageant. This is just for me to just dress up, have fun, and just meet everyone.
That's amazing. That's great. And I will ask Delise, you are in right now. Where are you? What state are you in?
I'm in Texas.
Right. So you're a little bit behind time there with us. So it's really nice to have you both. And Kimberly mentioned that she is actually in Boston. So Delise, I'll ask you to go ahead and share your response to the questions that we asked.
So Kimberly literally took the words out of my mouth. So similar, I focused on myself throughout the entire pageant. I was so focused on myself that I didn't even like pay attention to anyone else's social media because I just didn't want to be distracted. So
Right.
I did my best to stay grounded and to become the best version of myself, because that was my ultimate goal, similar to Kimberly. So I did so by leaning on my community, and like Kimberly said, she had coaches. I as well had my own team of coaches. So if I needed assistance with wardrobe, my hair, makeup, anything, I always leaned on my community. So I do feel as though it is important for us to have mentorship and have people that we can connect with and allow us to be that person that we've always wanted to be. In pageantry, everyone, they go there for their own purpose. So I feel as though it is important to understand why it is that you even became a delegate. Why did you apply for that particular pageant? So for me, that is why I continue to stay focused just on myself. I did a lot of self-care. So I stayed into a daily routine just so I wouldn't get distracted. So my self-care or my routine, it always looked like I would run 3 miles a day.
That's what I wanted to hear. Wanted to hear some of the tips or some of what you did.
So
Go ahead, please.
I did a lot of cardio. And at a certain point I had to stop because I was losing a lot of weight in the process. But it helped me mentally to just keep thriving, because when I was working out, it helps to motivate you, and
Yes.
you have those self-talk moments when you're working out.
Yes.
I would work out 6 times a week. Cardio is important, and also your diet. Make sure that you include your veggies and a lot of protein. That's what my daily routine would always look like. I was constantly worried about like my diet, and also, just those simple things. And I did have a journal. So any emotions that I was going through, I would make sure to journal it, write it down. If I didn't speak to my peers about it or my coach, I always kept it in my notes.
Awesome. Love that. Absolutely love that. And some of the thoughts that I heard both of you mention is just maintaining focus. You actually said no distraction or to restrict the distraction. In your case, the least you mentioned social media to take that away. And I like what Kimberly had said about failure is a learning. And I like that because you're prepared to not prepared to fail, but you're prepared to learn no matter what. And that can be applied to any goal at all. I also heard you say you wanted to be the best version of yourself. And again, leaning on that community to have. But I wanted to ask you a question that I wasn't thinking of before, but I'm hoping that it would have come out. Why did you go into the contest, the least? What
went
sparked your interest?
because of my platform. So I am the founder of the Texas Caribbean Students Organization, which is a registered 501c3. And we assist Caribbean students in the state of Texas by alleviating some of the stressors that they have, whether it's financial assistance that they need, mental health therapy, or just having a safe space as a Caribbean student. So I went in I applied for Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago to offer and extend my services, not only in the state of Texas, but globally throughout the U.S. and the Caribbean region, as well as to network with some of the leaders within Trinidad and Tobago and the diaspora overall.
Nice. Awesome. Kimberly, can you share?
Sure. So my system is currently for women under the height of 5'6". So I really wanted to yeah.
So that means that could participate in my
Yeah,
all of
sure.
5'3".
Yeah. So that's one thing I really wanted to bank on to
Right,
show women that it doesn't matter what height you are,
right,
what
right,
background you are from, you can go into
right,
pageantry. Because when I came into this system, I met so many phenomenal women who are lawyers, doctors, and are doing so many amazing things within their community. And it's because of this system giving us this platform for us to really go out there and showcase. And being from Jamaica and being a part of a sorority, I craved that sisterhood again. And I really wanted to go into a system where being able to communicate with the director was number one for me. Like
yes,
that
yes,
sold me when I reached out to the director of this system, and she was able to communicate with me and speak to me one-on-one. And that really showed me that they don't really just care about numbers and just making a profit from it. They really want to
right,
that the ladies that are coming into their system are truly passionate about serving their community and going out there and being of a representative. And I really want to work with like children and teens, like starting up my nonprofit and being able to partner with the Boys and Girls Club and teaching kids like the actual impact of using mental health awareness and the tools. And it's not just speaking about what's going on with you mentally, it's actually out there. And as a counselor who also has her own therapist, it's just really important for me to
right,
have
right,
my
right,
health is health, and we
right.
all go through it, and it's something that we should always take care of.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing from you guys both is Kimberly, you mentioned about the networking and how important that was to your entering the competition, and that somehow helped you. And networking is one of the things that we do share with individuals who are goal setting. It's important. If it doesn't matter what goal you're going after, networking is important, especially for like those who are new entrepreneurs. Both of you spoke to the different extracurricular activities that you're also involved in the community, and networking really does go a long way with that. So thanks both for sharing that. I'll move on to my other question that I have. It is, how did your journey in the beauty pageant impact your personal growth and self-development? Can you share any valuable life lessons that you've gained from the experience? I know you may have alluded to some before, but is there any that you would like to share now?
Okay, I would go. For me,
Thank you.
the process was the journey was one of self-discovery. where I grew up in America, but I am of Trinidadian descent. So throughout my entire life, I've always struggled with my identity, whether I identify as a Trinidadian or if I identify as American. But while I was in the process of Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, I discovered it's okay to have a hyphenated identity. So I'm comfortable and confident enough to identify as a Caribbean American because that's who I am. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and I was also born into a family that is very involved in many of the festivities, like my grandfather being a vintage Calypsonian. I've always been involved in our Caribbean culture, and many times people here in America, they didn't understand my culture, and that is what kind of convinced me and persuaded me to create this nonprofit so that other students, they can be comfortable enough to celebrate who they are as Caribbean American. So I enjoyed the process while I was in Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, and it's funny because the theme was metamorphosis. So it's like
Ah.
it's part of the journey, and the theme is like truly discovering yourself. Before that, I was always conflicted as to what I should identify as. Like if someone approached me like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a long story." But really, I am from Trinidad. I grew up in New York and also Houston. So technically, I am Caribbean American, and I can proudly say that now.
You can proudly say that now. I like that. I like the term metamorphosis as well. Because as we go after our goals and think we realize that we have to change. We have to adapt to the changing environment that we're in and all. So that's rather interesting that you attached yourself to the theme metamorphosis. Interesting. Kimberly, please
Yes.
share.
So yeah, so for me, after like losing my mom at the age of 16 and just migrating to the United States at the age of 16, for me, I really struggled with finding myself and finding who I am as a person and going through like losing my student loan access. And then I really started like really questioning my existence and why am I here and why is this happening to me? It's not until I spoke to like my mentor on college that really brought me out of that darkness and showed me like you're here for more than just that, and there's so many more resources. And it's really because of that mentor, that person that spoke into me, and I went into mental health counseling. This is why I'm here, and I'm sitting here like before these young children and teens. Like it really doesn't matter what happens to your purpose, and your light is here to like really shine on others. And for them to really see me speak about coming here in a whole new country at the age of 16, not knowing anyone, and through my Dare to Be Different program, like they're able to really learn those techniques and skills that mentor also put into me, and just for them to learn that mental health doesn't mean that something is wrong with you or nothing, you can't be a person who you want to be. So for me, it was really personable, and being from Jamaica, we didn't really speak much about mental health. Like that was really swept under the rug. We don't really speak on it. And come here, growing into this person, because it wasn't until I went into pageantry that I learned how to walk in heels, speak on stage, answer an on stage question. Like you would never get me to do that. So for me to even sit here with you right now, it's a testament to how that person spoke to me and how confident I am. Like as soon as said, you want to do an interview? I'm like, yes, when, what time? I always tell everyone, like for me, pageantry, I have this theme that I say to myself, like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
I like that. Stay ready.
But that's what pageantry is done for me. Like I'm always ready for an interview. I'm like, just tell me the time, the location, the place. And just to have these little children and kids who look like me, like, yeah, you can be this, and to show them like before and after, they would not believe it, because whenever everyone heard me before, they always call me quiet. I was
Yeah.
literally labeled as quiet, but now I'm like that quiet storm, like that hurricane, is coming up, and
Yeah.
the hurricane is there, you're going to expect something big.
Right.
So that's
Right.
why I call myself, like, I'm like that hurricane. I'm coming safely, but you never know what you're going to.
No, safely.
So just prepare yourself. I'm coming in. I just love it. Like how I'm feeling right now. I'm just smiling. I'm just love going out, like sharing with everyone about what pageantry is. And it's not just what you see on TV where there's fighting and everyone is like the negativity and everyone is against others. It's really more than that. Like the self-development and the networking is huge. And just signing an email or putting your name down and having your title beside it opens so many doors. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, we have a beauty queen here. We have to get her and we have to
share. I'll stop you right there and ask, what is it that stands out for you that as a beauty queen and this experience that you've gone through? What is the most outstanding experience that you had?
Wow. So
whether now or coming up, the
well,
least. No. Go ahead, Kimberly.
So for me, it's the networking. I met so many people this year. It's unbelievable. I have like 3 more TV interviews and a radio opportunity this month. Like getting the opportunity to even host like my mental health awareness program on the radio. I've connected with people in India, in the Caribbean, and for me, that says a lot because I wouldn't have been able to meet those people if I was just me, just walking on the road. So, going to event, just like how I met you, I wouldn't have met you if I did.
Right. I was actually in Boston. I went there for the Caribbean American Heritage Month flag raising ceremony at the City Council office, and I met you there.
Yeah.
And it is a testament to the fact that you do show up. And that's what I think I took away from your discussion. You said, stay ready. But I usually say to them, show up. Doesn't matter what it is, just show up. You can be shy, show up. So you might just find someone who you can attach yourself to that can take you out of that comfort zone that you have. So we're all there. We need to just stay ready. We're all shy in some cases and don't want to be out there, but you work on your own personal development. You want to go ahead, Dalise, to just share with us?
Yes. With the title, you do gain more exposure and it opens doors like Kimberly had stated. For me, I also manage some Caribbean artists. And with the title now, I've noticed that more people are they're more responsive and receptive of what we have to offer when I do reach out. Whereas before, it probably would have taken me a little longer. So having the title itself, it has perks and benefits.
Yes. And I think you had mentioned to me once that one of the things that stood out for you was that you were nominated to go to Vietnam.
Oh, yes. So I was nominated to participate in another pageant. Well, several franchise holders, they had reached out to me, but I haven't quite decided if I would further.
Right. I get that. And I will not influence you, but because of what Kimberly mentioned about staying ready, we will know that you will work on that part so that you can say, whatever the challenge is, I'm going to work that out and I'm going to do what I need to do to either show up there or show up somewhere else if we can. Because sometimes we can't be everywhere all at once. Though that movie won many awards, being everywhere all at once, but still we need to focus. We still need to focus. So I wanted to jump into my last question to you both. What advice would you offer to individuals who aspire to achieve their dreams, whether it's a pageantry or any other field? What advice would you give them? Kimberly?
Yes. So for me, I have 2.
Okay.
There are many, but 2 ones for me. I'm not sure if you guys know Deion Sanders. He made a very amazing one. It's to never let my self-confidence upset your insecurities. So that one really stuck with me. And the reason why I said it, I remember when I first went into pageantry, That was my very first time ever going into it. And I didn't go into it on my own. I went into it because a friend saw something within me that I never knew existed. And they encouraged me. I think they did it for a year. And I kept saying, no, 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 no. I can't go in pageantry. I'm not sure if I want to be in a swimsuit, walking in heels. It's a no. And I sat down and I thought about it. And then I said, yes, I will do a pageant. And that was the Miss Black and Gold pageant at Grambling State University. And I remembered when we were all gathered together and I was in there and someone looked at me and said, this should be interesting. So they already counted me out.
Right,
And
right.
that stuck with me until this day, because even though a friend saw that confidence, another person saw me going into it as I think you're making a mistake. And
Mhm.
at the end of the night, it was 30 amazing girls. I ended up not only winning my first pageant, got in best talent, best interview. And I really took that as something special, because even though I knew that I had it within me, I never knew that my confidence was so overwhelming that someone saw that positivity, that light.
Right, right,
And
right,
someone also saw that light in me as something negative. So
right.
for me, it doesn't matter where you're going in life. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Failure is something that you can learn from and grow from it. So I know, like, going through life, my confidence might be overwhelming for others. Some people might find my confidence as calming. So you never know. And when you said that, it really brought me back to that moment to see how my confidence was also negative and positive to two different individuals. And
Right,
you have
right,
to really go out there, be who you are. And it's only one life you have, and to
right,
truly live in a very positive way that you want to.
right.
And the last one that I have, I think
Mhm.
I mentioned that you learn more in failure than in winning. And for me, when being in pageantry and doing so many interviews, and when I win, it's good. I love it. But when I get like a second runner up or first runner up, I'm able to go back to the drawing board. Hey, Kim, what do you need to work on? Is it your interview? Is it your onstage question? Is it your wardrobe? So through that, with that failure, I actually learned more. Because for me, I
Mhm.
always tell judges and everyone, please tell me what I need to improve
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
I already know what greatness I have. That's why I was on the stage before. So tell me, what do
Mhm.
I need to improve on when I go back? One of my coaches, he recently said, oh, you need to speak up more in
Okay.
interview. I noticed, because I'm a counselor and I have to have that calming presence during
Okay.
my sessions, it also played out when I'm on stage and when I'm doing interviews. So I had to switch that channel in my head to let me know that you're in a different place. So that's what I did, worked on it, and I could really start switching the channels. Kim, you're not in a session. You're on
Right.
stage. The judges need to hear you. They
Right.
need to see that confidence. They need to know that you're ready for this job and you
Right.
can
Right.
be. So
Right.
those are my
Thank you
two
for
amazing tips.
thank you. Thank you for that tip. That what I've written down for me is continuous learning, because you know what your outstanding talents are, but then you wanted to know what we sometimes call a blind spot. Wanted to know what is it that you need to work on that you're not seeing for yourself. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So that's something that and again you're talking about the pageant, but outside of that we apply it to any goals that we do have to go after. Interesting. Denise, any tips
Yes,
that you want to give?
I have a lot of advice actually.
We only want two
Okay.
or one.
The top two advice that I would give to anyone pursuing pageantry or any career would be to number one, put God first in anything that you do. He
Mhm.
wouldn't give you this vision if he didn't feel as though you couldn't pursue or execute it. So uh pray about anything that you do in this life, and he would not only provide you with the network, but he'll provide you with the resources to execute that vision. And the second advice that I'll leave you all with today would be to block out the noise. So block out any distractions, any negativity, and
Mhm.
just stay the course. Never give up, and despite the many setbacks that you may endure. And yeah, just continue to just lean on him and lean on your community.
Right. I'm actually very thrilled to hear that. And I think in our society today, I know that Kimberly is talking about she's a mental health counselor and how that career that she selected impacted her being on stage because she kind of stayed into that career when she was doing the interviews. As a coach, I know what you're talking about, Kimberly. You have to listen a lot. But in this case, you're not in that role as the mental health counselor, you're in the role as being out there to share. So you have to say you. So when I go back to what Danisa says, to block out the noises, OMG. If you're on social media, there's a lot of noise out there that can really throw you off. And it's coming a lot of times from people who don't know you, people who see a post on you, or if you're a comment somewhere. And sometimes it's entertaining to hear and to see the ridiculous comments that come up, or it's sometimes really hilarious. But at the end of the day, sometimes a lot of people hurt others. And in hurting others, we don't want to go down that road because it's a mental health, and I leave that for Kimberly sometime in the week whenever she's doing her stuff. But seriously, it is something that we really have to think about others before we speak. And if we are thinking about others before we speak, then it's the positivity that we're sending out there. Sometimes people think that I'm too positive, but I gotta be, can't help it. Gotta be positive. Gotta look at the better side of life. And of course, we have a lot of challenges that we go through. Like I said to you, I have my book, Success Strategies. I did a lot of research on the strategies that leaders who I interviewed as heads of organizations and were able to find out what are the strategies that they use to become successful. And what are some of the challenges? Because you don't become successful unless you go through challenges. Every success goes through a lot of challenges. And I usually like to talk about Steve Jobs, who's gone, passed away many years ago, but yet we're walking around with our iPhone, right? And you think about the challenges that he himself had to go through, being fired from the own organization that he started. It didn't make that stop him. So I'm saying, just to hear you ladies share with us, I really want to say thanks, and more thanks for the time that we spent together. And if there's any final parting word that you'd like to share, then we welcome it now. Any final thing, Kimberly? Any final thing, Dalise?
I would share one thing that you're not here. Whenever you're going for like a new job or even pageantry, always lean on your network. Like bring a pool of people. It takes really a village to get anywhere you want to get in life. And when you have someone like helping out with your wardrobe, like getting like if you're doing People's Choice, have a team for that. So for me, that really switched for me for this year, and it really paid off. So really lean on your village, and even if you're not into pageantry, a village does really pave the way for you. So start learning to call in your village.
Call in the village. Delise, share. I like what you said before, Delise, about the vision and to put God first. That's what you had mentioned. And once you have that vision, it will push you forward and the resources will be provided for the execution of it. I like that. I really like that. Any last words you wanted to share before we wrap up here?
No, not really. Kimberly covered what I would have said. So
okay, in the last, of course, that village, and I'm shouting out. Again, I want to just say thank you for both for your time. And my name is Dr. Shelley Cameron, and I am on Instagram at Dr. Shelley C_success. That's where you can find me. And I speak mainly about personal growth and development. Everything I do is based on that. I write many books on leadership, success, and motivation, and these are all for the purpose of helping others develop themselves. Where can people find you, Kimberly?
So I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as Ms. New England Petite. That's Ms. New England MS Petite on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, and Dalise?
my Facebook is Dalise Lockhart. So that's DALISE and then Lockhart. And my Instagram is Dalise.Lockhart.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you, ladies, both. And I know, Delise, you have a hidden thing that you're doing with I know with your mother, I think, a new business that you started. And just 10 second. What's the name of that business?
So it's Calypso Kitchen, and we are a Caribbean restaurant or kitchen located in Houston, Texas.
Where? In Houston, Texas. Somewhere that is.
It's off of the freeway, close to Humble, on the way to the airport. Everyone comes in for our bacon, saltfish, and roast pizza. Make sure to stop by and
Okay.
get
We don't want to hear anymore because we're getting hungry. But I know everyone will go and check it out because you're on the way to the airport to or from. You can just stop by and she'll be there with her mom or the other persons that are there. So not only is she selling there on behalf of Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, but she's also out there in the, the society taking care of the inner being, that healthy side that we have to. Kimberly, I give you thanks as well for being out there in the mental health area because you know that's something that we're going through and we're thankful for people like yourself. So ladies, let me say thank you again, and it was really a pleasure to have you both on and to hear both of you share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.